Hey guys, we're out here at the Copper Moon in McAllen, Texas, cooking some prime brisket with my friend Joseph Salinas, the owner of the Copper Moon. They're going to be opening a barbecue restaurant here in the very near future, so we're here doing a little consulting work, mixing some rub for them and showing them some different flavors on the barbecue. Today we did a brisket, next week we're going to do chicken and ribs. We're going to slice the brisket here in a couple of minutes. We spent all day talking barbecue, talking spices, and all the wonderful things about barbecue. So let's see how the brisket turned out today. We're fixing to slice and see what it looks like. Seems like now the point is all the rage, you know. Everybody wants that juicy, moist point.
So you cut it so it's for it and then turn it sideways?
So I trim mine aggressively, kind of like you do. If it's for the house or for a party or something like that, I take a lot of the fat off, but I trim around the flat because you know how the point usually sticks out a little bit. So I'll trim all that fat out of there and let the point cook together with the flat. I think it keeps it a little bit more moist. And then I'll trim the point edges off and cut those
on the top.
Yes, around the sides.
Okay.
And I'll cut those off and we'll make burn ends out of those. That old school cooking over the coals, to me, still is the best barbecue ever. You know, I love that. So you know that little grease dripping over the coals and it kind of atomizes and flavors the meat a little bit. It's another element of flavor that people really like, and I call that also a familiar flavor. Like you're talking about the way you used to cook. When they taste that, they're like, oh, that reminds me of what we used to cook, or how my grandpa cooked, or my uncle, or my dad. Maybe we can run to the store real quick and get one of their cores.
And shit, I got up early for this, man.
Yeah, me too.
Early.
Joseph, on like for a restaurant type deal, I don't get real aggressive on top, because some of that fat is going to render. Like this is the soft fat, that'll render off.
That's okay.
So you want to get most of it off, because you don't want a big chunk of fat. If it's too much, it's not going to render no matter what. But if you have a very light bit of it in there, it's all right.
A little light layer.
I can tell you I've done a lot of catering over the years.
That's a lot of work.
Yeah, I've done a lot of catering over the years, and that has never ever
been an issue.
Never. I think it renders right off too. CAB is upper choice or low end prime in some cases, and then there's some CAB prime as well, which is what I like to cook when I can get them. See, I'll come back here and I do try to get rid of as much of this fat as I can.
What do you leave on? About like a 1/4 inch, like they all say?
Somewhere between a 1/4 and an 1/8.
Yeah.
You know, right here you can kind of see it's a little translucent.
Yeah.
You can see the meat under there. I won't mess with that, even though this is a tough, thick skin deal. I still will leave that on because I do believe it helps to retain some of the moisture. I like to get it off the edge first so that I know where I'm at. Trying not to get too much into the meat.
Yeah.
This stuff here, by the way, when you have a good brisket that's high quality, a good prime or wagyu, this makes some excellent tallow, beef tallow. Really? Great cooking oil, man. Makes great French fries. That's pretty much it on the bottom. Okay. You know, it's not a measurement per se, like they say, 1/4 inch, 1/8. I kind of just eyeball it, and that's kind of what your guy's gonna probably wind up doing at the end when you're doing a bunch of them so much. You know?
You're doing, 40, 50 a day, you know.
Yeah. Normally, I'll come on this side too and try to get rid of as much fat as I can. But I know some restaurants, they don't season, they don't trim, they don't take absolutely nothing off. They just throw it in the pit and cook it with smoke. I think a little rub goes a long way for your end of the cooking flavor profile. I do like to get rid of this little brown meat here. And it's not bad for you, it's not going to hurt nobody or anything, but it does have an off flavor. And at the end of the day, what we want our customer is basically to be happy with what he ate, right?
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it for trimming.
Okay.
Restaurant style trimming. Yeah. You know, just I always like to come in and put a little bit of rub on the bottom. You want to get a little bit on the side.
Yeah.
And this is a high salt rub. So I find when you have a fairly high salt rub like that, you don't have to cake it on. One of my sayings is, I want to taste the meat. You know, I don't want just rub. I don't want just sauce. I don't want all kinds of weird flavors on my barbecue. And I think most people that go to a barbecue place basically want the same thing. The general rule is the fat towards directly right under. Yeah. And if you're cooking low and slow, it's fine. But once you crank it up to 3, 3 1/4, up over 275, you're gonna get a little too much heat, and it'll crisp up your bottom. Yeah. I generally cook fat side down, and then when I cook on my pellet cooker, then I will wrap it in butcher paper and flip it the other way around.
The other way around for the second half of the cook.
Yeah, that's what I do. Because really, in cooking good, perfect brisket, especially, the whole key is consistent temperature. Always at the same. If you're cooking at 250 or 275, whatever it happens to be, you want it constant. Because also every brisket, they're not all going to come out at exactly the same time. Temperature is a guide. It's not an end all. And some guides, it's all like 180, 190, whatever. Every brisket's a little bit different. You have to actually probe it. So there's an art to it, and that feel, that touch, like we call it in Spanish, es la mano, right?
Sí.
You know, tiene que ser la mano.
Yeah.
Yes, and there's just a little art to that, and I think that's one of our secrets to winning. It's just cooking food that everybody likes, and in the restaurant, that's what you want to. You want something
the masses
that
to
everybody
love it,
likes. Don't worry about it, bro. This is what I love to do, man. The beach working for a living. Right? That's what I always say. If you're doing what you love to do, it's not really work.
2, 3, one more. Hold it right there. 1, 2, 3.
All right.
You hear that little sizzle?
Yeah.
That usually tells you you're okay. You're ready to cook.
Okay.
And let it rock. Let it get a little smoke. Then we'll slow it down a little bit, and it'll get a little more smoke.
All right. Well, this time I am going to work.
Okay.
See you later.
All right. Good to see you.
All right.
We cooked it from 9:30 to I'm gonna say right at 5:30ish. We made a sauce also. We did a little blend. But let's see what we got here. Now this is not going to be, Joseph, the big barked up brisket because we had it wrapped, but the flavor is kind of what we're trying to test. No, that's cool.
Oh, you're good.
Okay, now we're going to kind of look at the grain here. And I'm right-handed, so I always like to start on this end. And we've got our grain running about like this. Ideally, you know, you want to cut sideways right across the grain. And like we said earlier, for restaurant purposes, you might want to start about like that.
Yeah.
And
It looks awesome right there.
these are the sugar cookies.
Oh my God.
Anyway, this stuff right here is what you give those special customers that ask for a little piece of moist. Now they call it moist or lean. This is lean, and this is moist.
So we can give him a taste of Jude. He's in the office, please.
These are the sugar cookies, we call them that. And historically, most of your barbecue restaurants cook fat side up, and they usually will slice from the fat side up down. And one of the things that happens when you're slicing, you see some of the fatty juice running down along the meat, and that flavors the meat as well.
And I love this point. Oh my gosh.
Good. Ain't bad. Ain't bad at all.
That's the full test, right there.
Perfect.
Falls apart, man.
Let me try it with that sauce a little bit.
Okay. Eat it all. What's wrong with you, baby? Come on, man.
Good.
Eat that.
Can't take that off.
Okay, I like that.
Credit cards, man.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
You know, and some places will come in here and separate the point like that. You know, you can chop this fat off and get rid of that. That tastes good right there. But in competition, they'll take these, cube them up like that, put some sauce on them, put them back in the pit with the smoke, let the sauce sit on them a little bit, and turn it into the judges.
Yeah.
They love that. Oh yeah, really, really good.
Barbecue
Yeah.
smiling on us, baby.
Put a little sauce. I'm gonna take this out there to that couple on the corner. They kind of been watching all afternoon.
Yeah.
And they just kind of wow them a little bit.
Absolutely, man.
Excuse me.
Let him, you don't need to.
And that couple had just walked out, man. I was looking at him when I was making the plate. So
Out there.
Come on, Donnie.
Try it.
Wondering
Try
why
you
wasn't
some.
I called to come and try this amazing
You
one?
were very busy, man.
I
You
know,
were
right?
very busy.
Lady over there.
You wouldn't like it. It's not
It's no good. It's no good.
Not that good?
No, you'll be alright. You know?
Do you think the sauce is spicy?
You get something with it, babe?
Think it's okay?
I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is Texas, baby.
I can't believe we ate that
can eat it
much.
all.
I was gonna say, I've never seen this much brisket go this quickly.
Yeah, I know. It's gone,
I
man.
never eat this much, honestly.
I like that. Even after it's been sliced and sitting a while, you still see that nice sheen, moist,
Ernie, look,
shiny
you
brisket.
got some good smoke there, man.
And got a smoke ring on
you got
the
beautiful.
pellet grill.
Yeah.
Look at that. See how shiny and pretty that looks? That's really nice.